Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we are going to completely flip how you look at a patch of woods. We're talking about the determinants of forest yield. I really want you to stop thinking of a forest as just, a random collection of trees and start viewing it as a highly complex, long-term investment. Just like a financial portfolio, a forest has multiple layers of variables, inputs, and compounding factors that ultimately dictate the final output. It's an absolutely fascinating system, and today we're going to unpack exactly how the whole shebang works. Okay, let's dive into this. When you look at a massive, thriving forest, you kind of have to ask yourself, what really determines its yield? I mean, it's not just about planting a seed and walking away, right? It's actually this incredibly delicate, multi-layered balancing act between nature's baseline rules and human intervention. To truly get a grip on forest productivity, we have to peel back these layers one by one to see what's actually driving the growth behind the scenes. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of those specific variables, let's quickly define our core concept here. Forest yield is, simply put, the total productivity and output of a forest. Think of it through that investment analogy we just talked about. You've got your starting capital, the natural environment, and you have your factory output, the final harvestable timber, or in some cases, the ecological value. The yield is your return on that long-term investment. And keep in mind, in forestry, long-term can literally mean waiting 50 to 80 years for a payout. It's shaped equally by what nature provides and the strategic choices we humans make along the way.
To wrap our heads around all of this, we're going to use a zoom-out approach today. We'll be moving through 4 concentric circles of influence. Number 1, site factors. Number 2, stand factors. Number 3, management factors. And finally, number 4, external factors.
So, let's start at the very bottom with our first layer. Number 1, site factors. This is our foundation. We're talking about the dirt and the geography here. In our investment analogy, this is your unchangeable starting capital. You obviously can't just pack up a forest and move it, so the inherent qualities of the site set the absolute baseline for what's even possible. Look at the factors here that make up this foundation. We can actually group these to make them a bit easier to digest. Think of temperature, climate, rainfall, and moisture availability as your atmospheric elements. Basically, what's happening in the air and falling from the sky. Then we have the topographical and ground elements, altitude, aspect, slope, and of course, soil fertility and depth. All of these combine to dictate the raw potential of the site before a single tree even takes root.
And this brilliantly illustrates the dynamic at play at ground zero. It's like a giant puzzle. On one side, you've got your ground resources, soil fertility and depth. This is where the nutrients and water are physically stored. On the other side, you've got the topographical layout, the aspect, which just means the direction the land faces, and the physical tilt or slope of the terrain. The slope dictates water runoff, while the aspect dictates how much direct sunlight those trees are going to get. You literally need both the underground nutrients and the correct physical orientation to establish the baseline health of the trees.
Zooming out slightly, we reach layer 2, stand factors, the trees.
If the site was our starting capital, the stand is the actual collection of assets growing inside our portfolio. The crucial thing to remember here is that even if you have perfect soil and ideal rainfall, these variables are going to drastically alter your yield, like what specific species are actually planted, what is their age and maturity, how densely are they stocked together, and what past silvicultural treatments, which is just a fancy way of saying previous care and cultivation, have they received. You could have the best land in the entire world, but if the species composition is poor or the density is totally off, the yield is definitely going to suffer.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the specific stand structure completely changes how the forest develops. We're looking at an even-age stand versus an uneven-age stand. This age structure basically dictates the rhythm of the yield. If all the trees are the exact same age, they're all competing for canopy space and resources at the exact same time, which impacts your stocking density and determines when the entire stand reaches maturity. But if it's uneven-aged, you've got this staggered structure, with different generations of trees utilizing resources at different times.
Which naturally brings us to our third circle, number 3, management factors, the human control.
So let me ask you, if you have great soil and the right tree species, is a high yield guaranteed? No way. Absolutely not. This is where foresters actively shape their portfolio strategy to maximize returns. Here we see the forester's sequential journey mapped out over time. Human decisions shape this entire life cycle. First, they figure out the rotation length, exactly how long to let the trees grow before harvesting. Along the way, they implement a thinning regime, strategically removing some trees so the absolute strongest can thrive. Then comes the choice of harvesting methods, and finally, the regeneration system used to start the whole cycle all over again. Every single step here is a calculated intervention.
And overarching all of those steps is this one massive concept: the intensity of management. How actively are we humans involved? Are we just sort of letting nature run its course with minimal interference? Or are we actively applying intensive silvicultural practices year after year? The sheer intensity and dedication applied across those rotation, thinning, and harvesting phases serves as the ultimate human dial we can turn to manipulate the forest output.
Let's move on and see how this builds into our final macro-level zoom out. Number 4, external factors, the outside forces.
You can kind of think of this as the market volatility of our investment, forces that are entirely outside the forester's day-to-day control. So the crucial point is that our forest yield is ultimately at the mercy of both massive economic systems and Mother Nature herself. On the human and economic side, you've got fluctuating market demand and timber prices, as well as shifting legal and policy frameworks that dictate what can and cannot be done. On the environmental side, you've got unpredictable natural disturbances, things like fires, windstorms, and pests, along with the overarching reality of climate change impacts. Literally all the careful management in the world can be upended by a sudden shift in these external realities.
And that leaves us with a pretty critical question to end on. We know the baseline site factors, we understand the stand, and we know our management dials. But with climate change impacts accelerating, altering rainfall, shifting temperatures, and intensifying natural disturbances, how will our human management factors adapt to secure tomorrow's yield? The rules of this long-term investment are changing, and the survival and productivity of our forests are going to depend heavily on how cleverly we adjust our strategy. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a whole new perspective on the incredible complexity of forest yield.